played a sound when they came in.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. With a spot in the Super Bowl on the line, everything is on the line in today's conference championship matchup. It's the Raiders going up against the Browns. So with kickoff approaching, let's send it over to our commentators here this afternoon, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. From the shores of Lake Erie, EA Sports has coverage of the NFL from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. Straight ahead, it's a clash to decide the AFC's representative in the Super Bowl. And it'll be a great one between the Oakland Raiders and the Cleveland Browns. Now an Eastern Michigan man, Darius Jackson of the carry. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25. An entire crew of Raiders, an entourage there to make the tackle.
Now let's go! Blue Niners!
On play action, they'll throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. As we get a glance at these starters, Michael Crabtree is the man we highlighted, wide receiver.
Phenomenal hands, so strong. When the ball gets to him, it just dives right there, and then he's able to do things with it after he catches it.
Six yards here to go for the offense on 2nd down.
All right, here we go. Wide and Yates. Wide and Yates.
Cooper, the man in motion right. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. And now the starting defense for the Browns.
You have to love Jamie Collins. You can use him just about anywhere on the defense. Inside linebacker, outside linebacker, defensive end. He might even play a little bit of safety if you give him the chance.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Working from the gun, it's Carr. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
I know where we're headed on this. Terrific catch, gets his feet down, sets up a 4th down and short situation. I bet we're wondering, why didn't he get to the 1st down marker running his route? Am I correct?
You got to know where the marker is, right?
Got to figure it out. I know every receiver is taught that. Sometimes circumstances change it. At least they have an opportunity to make a decision with not much yardage to go.
And they're not going to get the snap off. This might back him out of field goal range. Here's Marquette King now to kick it for Oakland. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I'm hearing my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And we take a look now at the defense for the Raiders.
Dan Williams might as well change his name officially to Big Dan Williams. A monster in the middle, holds down the run game against any team.
They'll come out in the pistol. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Deep drop. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. And now here come the Raiders. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here.
One of the beauties of a 3-4 defense is that you have flexibility with your linebackers, and you can put them in different spots. But one of the downsides is an offensive team that's committed to running the football. You can get your big offensive linemen up on linebackers quicker, and that usually gives you an advantage in running it.
To throw on 2nd down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Here we go now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Man, wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
Here we go now.
They're going to look to throw. And his pass incomplete. The intended target was Corey Coleman, and it's 3rd down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
Third and 11, 5 in the secondary now.
Nickel look. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
Taken in at the 22. Very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Raiders will take possession. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Connects it to Roberts, right side. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Shotgun now for Carr. And Cook has it, left side. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. We heard them talk before the game about utilizing the intermediate passing game this week. It works for them there. They move the chains.
And we saw them work on it in practice as well. And most teams take a period at a time to work on different things. They put a couple of periods of work into the intermediate passing game, and now we know exactly why. They got the look that they were seeking, and they were able to take advantage of it.
They go play action here on first down. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
One receiver to the left is Cooper. Carl try it again on second down. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. It's a loss of a yard, so they'll wind up crediting him with a sack, and it brings up third down. Big sack on second down. Now the offense needs to convert here on third. Throwing his Carr on third down. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a fourth down. Out is Janikowski now for the Raider field goal try. From the right hash, this from 53. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. They are, however, facing a fourth down situation. And the first play will be a field goal try. The wind is at his back here in the second quarter. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense, and over the post.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards there on the pickup, and it's good enough for a Cleveland first down.
Love the run right there, and when you analyzed him coming out of college, when you tried to put a grade on him, you saw the flashes while he was in school, but you didn't see the full production. You didn't see the finished product. He's a little bit raw, but you can see why people liked it. Those types of runs make you think there's plenty more there, and we'll see if that continues for him.
They got 29 yards there, and the Browns are going to have a first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Now it's Jackson. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 12. And that'll be good for a Cleveland first.
You don't have to be a finished product to show some pretty good glimpses of what could be in this league, and we just saw an example of it on that nice run there. When I looked at him coming out of college, I saw a guy with raw, terrific ability, and I couldn't wait to see how it was going to be harnessed and polished up in the NFL. In fact, some people thought he could play a little slot receiver as well as run the football. This guy has the ability to be a big-time player with more seasoning.
They run again with Jackson, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They come out here in the eye. They run with a fullback now. This is Dan Vitale, and he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop.
And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A great effort there, taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Browns have taken the lead. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they've got to make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Carr now on 1st down. And he's got Cooper on the out route. That's complete. 11 yards on the pickup, and that'll be good for an Oakland 1st down.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
Watch left, watch left, watch left. Stop it there. All right, here we go. Red 18. Red.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
We ready? Red 18.
On 2nd down, here's Carr. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And now the passing game here in the 2nd quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
The former number 8 overall pick, Justin Gilbert, in on the stop.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. Finds Roberts left side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. Back with more of the AFC Championship game after this. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Roberts has it. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now with a play clock at 4, we're going to get a timeout called. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now Carr throwing on second down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive line.
And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. One receiver to the left is Cooper. On third and long, it's Carr. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now fourth down. Here's Marquette King now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And they'll get to this and touch it. Looks like, yeah, right at the 15-yard line here. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Now a play fake here on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Ten yards still left on second down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. That catch good for 5. It's third down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Again, we'll see the pistol here. Out of the gun now on third down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Smith. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And where the ball is now, you got the field goal pretty much in the bag. Now do you try for the end zone a couple of times?
I don't think there's any question about it. You might get a gift of 6 points rather than the 3 that you just noted that you feel like you already have. Be aggressive, go after it, and try and get those points.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to bring this one down to right about the 20-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And some options here for the offense on 2nd and 2. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, this from 34. And the 38-year-old vet able to split the uprights. So we are halfway home to figuring out who will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. As we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Snap comes at 1, and it's Carr. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So a 3rd and 10, and defensively, a dime look. 6 DBs. And the back goes into motion. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
And no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. but they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter three.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. On the run, this is Jackson. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw two tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set. When everything is in sync on defense, that means everyone's communicating really well, and sometimes it's nonverbal. They just know that when a receiver's in one spot, this person may have him, and he's in another spot, the next defender may have him. And they've squeezed the passing lanes down to where it's so difficult to find an open area to deliver the football. They've made it tough on them all game long.
A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's third down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain.
Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. They're going to look to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46.
What's fun to watch is these college receivers transitioning into the NFL and how they grow as route runners. Because a lot of times now in the college game, the spread offenses, there aren't that many routes that they're actually running. Most of the time, they're just trying to find open space and present themselves to the quarterback as easy targets. But in the NFL, you've got to run the entire route tree, and you've got to run it well if you expect to get open.
Given 3 on first down, it'll set up a 2nd and 7. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. This one complete to Coleman. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 12 yards on the pickup, and it's good enough for a Cleveland first down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
They'll run it with Jackson, and he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12. 5 wides in the game, 4 of them to the right side. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, there really wasn't much there, but a completion is a completion. A tough 3rd down awaits them.
Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. A nickel back added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. They'll look to throw here. He finds Coleman. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Browns can grab the lead if they hit the extra point. And that one puts them on top here in the 3rd. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Only a couple there, so he'll be brought down about the 28.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
7 yards to go on 2nd down. Shotgun now for Carr. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off. It's the Pro Bowl corner, Joe Hayden with it. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
On the ground, this is Jackson. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And we're back now here in Cleveland. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the 4th quarter of play. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Back to throw. And eventually brought down, but it's near the 5 at the 6. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. They come out here in the eye. And now it's 2nd and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Now from back at the 9 after that last play, this is 3rd and goal.
4 down. Let's go. 3-19.
They'll try to run it in. Johnson. Call it no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal.
Partner, when it's a goal-to-go situation, if you're on the field on defense, you have to know that you may be called on to make a tackle at any time. Here, the cornerback does exactly that. Plays the run really well and makes a big play.
So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They go back to the air here after the and the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. Carr to throw on 2nd down. To the left side and complete for Amari Cooper. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High School in Miami making a nice play there.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft process when he came out of Alabama and was inquiring about him and his skills, they say it all began back in Miami. He really became a pro receiver at a young age because of his attention to detail and precision. But don't forget his athletic ability. That's what made that catch there.
He did spend 1 year with Teddy Bridgewater as his quarterback there, so that helped back in high school. And he goes in motion here in the backfield. Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. Roberts with it over the middle. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic, and people want to put a little contact on him. Really well done.
They come out here in the eye. And Carr's going to keep it himself. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
Well, he gave it a shot, quarterback sneak. Not able to get it.
No, but if you're going to call a QB sneak on 3rd down, you draw it up to get it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Maybe they were thinking 4-down territory.
Carr keeps it on the sneak. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches. Time for a break. Back to wrap up the AFC Championship game after this. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Now this time Carl throw. And this is Randall here over the middle. And an athletic hurdle that he displayed. Not a whole lot thereafter, but a nice gain. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Here comes the D swarming to the line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. And, Charles, a couple extra defensive backs in here on 3rd and 1.
Not expecting them to run it at all.
And this is caught. It's Cooper. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Amari Cooper, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Raiders have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter.
And touchdown, and congratulations, and 0 relaxation ahead of them, right? Way too much time on the clock for them to start celebrating.
Yeah, part 1 is done, but now on the sideline, you can already see them scrambling down there. They're getting those defensive guys ready.
Yes, you have to get those guys ready, and you also have to talk to your special teams guys. Make sure the kickoff is exactly what you want and cover it well.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now the Browns offense trots back onto the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
Yeah, they practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL. And a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses. And now we're seeing it in the...
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Fresh set of downs here. Another pistol look here. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. Back to throw. Throw here's incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or 2 in and bats it away.
So still a full 10 yards to go here for the offense on 3rd down. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
He'll look to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And it all rides on this one play, a trip to the Super Bowl in the balance here on 4th down.
Green 39! Green 39! Hot! 14!
Back to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field, and not letting him throw an out route. Throw anything inside, and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive.
Here we go. Watch it now, Barney.
They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice. Able to get a hand in and tip it away.
And here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on third down.
Here we go.
Again, he'll drop to throw. He finds Coleman. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
In this situation, it's really tough to figure out how to defend because they have plenty of room to still take deep shots at the end zone as they just did there. Yet at the same time, you've got to be ready for the short throw. In this case, when you see the cue that they're going for the end zone, retreat and make sure you have a way to play forward, back towards the receiver, and have a chance to back the ball away as they did there.
So a money kick there in the final seconds, and now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
Overtime in a playoff game, awesome setup. Remember, the rules the same as they would be in the regular season.
That's exactly right, Brandon. Remember, the receiving team, if they score a touchdown, game is over. But if they kick a field goal or don't score, the other team gets a chance to get the football. They get a possession. If they go down and score, they win the football game at that point. If both teams kick field goals, we keep playing. If a defense scores, let's say the receiving team gets the ball, doesn't score, or they throw a pick six or fumble, gets picked up, the defense scores, game over. But here's the best part. In the regular season, only one period is played. We could call it a tie. Here, we're going to play until we have a winner.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. So out come the Raiders. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And quickly they get to the line. First throw of overtime for Carr. Oh, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They've got some decisions to make now. In field goal range already. How do you play this out?
You check with your kicker to make sure the spot that he told you that he wants it is still the same as the game has gone on, because sometimes the kickers have to make adjustments. They may all of a sudden become more confident about their range and their spot. They may become less confident about it. Where do you want it, and what is the range that we need to get into for you to kick the one through the post for us to win it?
So this game possibly could end on the foot of the kicker here in overtime. to throw. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Offense needs 11. Have to think pass here on third down. Johnson on the counter. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be fourth down. So on comes the kicker, Cody Parkey, in a big spot. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. They'll be left with 2 remaining here in this overtime session. So the field goal. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 left here in overtime. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And the kick is good. He got it. And the next stop is Houston. They're going to the Super Bowl. We were just treated to an absolute dandy in this one. A great finish in overtime with a long field goal. Everybody, including us, on the edge of their seats. Quite a game.
And it's rare that you get a game into overtime that it doesn't turn out to be a dandy, right? That's what we saw here. And just what you were talking about, a long field goal to win it. So definitely not a gimme. So there was tension all the way through until the ball went through the post.
But it did go through the post. Ice water was in his veins. And that will do it for this one. For Charles Davis, myself, and the entire crew, we'll see you in 2 weeks at the Super Bowl.